10 recently published thriller, mystery, and suspense books that I think are worth your time. If you don't know me, I'm Carrie, and I read a book a day to give you the best thriller, mystery, and horror book recommendations, so if you're into that, make sure to give me a follow. I'm going to start with the 4 books that I wouldn't necessarily classify as thrillers, but more mysterious suspense. Adrift by Will Dean follows Peggy, and she is an aspiring author, and she is married to this guy named Drew, who is also an aspiring author. When Peggy starts to have some success, Drew gets really set off, and he's just this terrible guy, and he's really abusive. So throughout the story, we were following Peggy as she's trying to get herself and her son Sam out of this abusive situation. Read Between the Lies by Jessie Q. Sutanto is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it follows Fern, whose dream of becoming an author is finally coming true. But unfortunately for her, her high school bully Haven is also becoming an author right alongside her, and Fern is convinced that Haven has not changed a bit since high school and is becoming obsessed with the idea of convincing everybody else that this is the case, and she begins to spiral. This Story Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum follows Benny and Joy, who have a comedic survival podcast called This Story Might Save Your Life. And one day, Joy and her husband Xander go missing, and Benny subsequently upends his life to figuring out what happened to them. Whidbey by T. Kira Madden follows 3 women who are connected by an awful man in the aftermath of his unaliving. In this story, we follow 2 of his victims, Bertie and Lindsay, as well as his mother, Mary Beth. Now on to the 6 thrillers. Don't Ask Why by Steph Nelson is available on Kindle Unlimited, and this follows Courtney in the aftermath of her husband's passing, and she decides to take a vacation with her best friends to an island in the Florida Keys. But there's a rumor circulating that a girl has been unalived here, and then one of the girls goes missing, turning this vacation into a nightmare. Served Him Right by Lisa Unger follows Anna, and she is throwing a celebratory brunch for all of her friends because she just broke up with her toxic boyfriend Paul. But during this brunch, they find out that Paul has been unalived, and then one of Anna's friends grows deathly ill, leading police to suspect that Anna may have been responsible for both incidences. It's Not Her by Mary Kubica follows Courtney, who is on a vacation with her extended family. Her brother and his wife and their kids are staying in the cabin next door, so when Courtney hears a blood-curdling scream, she rushes over, justifying her brother and his wife unalived and her teenage daughter missing. Is the daughter the perpetrator, or is she another victim? Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams follows Tess, who has agreed to go caving with her best friend Allie. But just 24 hours later, Tess is the only one that comes out and tells the harrowing story of how they were stalked underground. When I Kill You by B.A. Paris follows Nell, who believes that she is being stalked. 14 years ago, she was known as Elle, and she was a witness to a kidnapping, and she began stalking the suspected perpetrator. Did she point the finger at the wrong person? And has now the stalker become the stalked, or is something more sinister at play? How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Phillipson follows Scotland Yard detective Sam Hansen as she's looking into the unaliving of a young girl. The only evidence in the case is a book called How to Get Away with Murder by Denver Brady, which is a self-help guide for serial unalivers to help them evade capture. Who is Denver Brady, and is his book connected to this case? Let me know in the comments if you've read and loved any of these books, and if you haven't, let me know which one you're most looking forward to picking up.